Alrighty, so welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Bulls podcast. My name is Corey. Let's get straight into it. So, Billy Donovan, and I just talked about this yesterday on the last podcast episode. Billy Donovan has decided to step away from being the coach of the Chicago Bulls. So, I kind of guessed this yesterday because I couldn't see the Bulls getting rid of him or firing him, especially after last year. Well, actually, especially because of the beginning of this season. I think the Bulls had just extended him, so I couldn't see the Bulls firing him. So Billy Donovan decides today to walk away from being the coach of the Chicago Bulls. So not a bad coach, not a terrible coach at all. I mean, I think that this is the best move for the Bulls and for Billy Donovan as well, because it's not like Billy Donovan is not going to get another coaching opportunity where he can make just as much money, if not as more, if not more money. You know, whether that be from college or from another NBA team. So I'm pretty sure other NBA teams are going to be interested in him. I'm pretty sure that Billy Donovan still has the passion to coach the game of basketball, whether that be at the NBA level or at the collegiate level. So I'm pretty sure Billy Donovan he'll be straight, he'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think that this is the best move for the Bulls. Not that it was their decision to make, really. You know, I mean, Billy Donovan took it upon himself to step away, but I think that this is a good move. I think that this is the right step in the right direction because, like I said yesterday, if you've got new management coming in, you've got a new president of operations coming in, you've got a new general manager coming in. You know, it's even though Michael Reinsdorf said what he said about Billy Donovan, and now Billy Donovan is gone. I don't think that that was the best thing to say. I mean, I get what I think I get what the Bulls were doing from a business and a loyalty standpoint, but it's still not the most professional, I guess you would say. You know, the Bulls wanted to be loyal to Billy Donovan. They wanted to be committed to him and things like that. Maybe Bulls ownership felt like they didn't do their best by Billy Donovan, which I guess that's why they fired. Well, at least part of the reason why they fired Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley. So I get it, but I more so feel like that falls in the boat of not being very professional, really, you know. But it is what it is. The Bulls, total clean slate now. Clean slate, same ownership. You know, I know people have this. I know people say what they say about the Bulls ownership and things like that. I get it, you know. Uh, Clean slate for the Bulls, though. New president of operations is going to be coming in eventually, whoever that's going to be, and then you've got the new GM coming in, whoever that is going to be, and now you have a new coach coming in. We don't know who that's going to be either, you know. So I'm interested in finding out who the coaching candidates are going to be for the Bulls. Like I always say, I mean, I feel like the Bulls they need a coach that's going to be kind of hard nosed, you know, defensive minded, kind of like a Thibs, you know. And I know people joke about Thibs being available and things like that, and I wouldn't be opposed to the Bulls bringing Thibs back. I know that that's not a popular opinion and things like that. You know, he runs players in the ground, blah blah blah. All the other things that people say about him that may be true or not true, you know. But that's the type of coach that the Bulls need. You know, historically, that's the type of coach that the Chicago Bulls have succeeded with. You know, either a hard-nosed, defensive-minded coach, or a philosophical coach, as you know, like with Phil Jackson. You know, that's where the Bulls have had their success at. But even if you notice, even when the Bulls were winning championships, you know, under Phil Jackson, you know, with Phil Jackson being a philosophical coach, you know, he had a unique approach to the game. But a lot of the assistant coaches on those teams were kind of like Thibs, you know, very defensive minded, very serious, very straightforward, very no nonsense. You know, that's how the Bulls thrive. You know, so great opportunity to just start over. Hopefully we select a great coach. I don't know who the candidates are. But hopefully we select a great coach, a great GM, and a great president of operations, you know, and hopefully everybody is on one page. You know, I mean, we've seen this play out in unsuccessful ways, unfortunately, with the past regimes of the Bulls. You know, like with Gar Pax, you have Vinny Del Negro come in, and supposedly he had some type of beef with whoever that was. I forgot who it was, John Paxson or somebody. I felt like Vinny Del Negro was a solid coach. I did, you know. Then you see Vinny Del Negro. He leaves the Bulls, And if I'm not mistaken, he went to go coach the Clippers. Lob City, and well, at least I think how long did he coach the Clippers? I think like 1 or 2 years, but he had some solid seasons with the Clippers as well before Doc Rivers came over there. And then you look at Scott Skiles. I forgot what the deal was with him, why he got fired. Then you look at Thibodeau, Tom Thibodeau. Look at Thibs, and supposedly he had rifts with management, on playing certain players and things like that. So, unfortunately, the Bulls, with their good coaches, the past 10, 15, 20 years, they've always seemed to get into some rift with management. They seem to not be on the same page and things like that. So hopefully with this new regime, with the new coach, with the new president of operations, with the new GM, hopefully they can communicate well. Disagreements are bound to happen and things like that. They're not going to always see eye to eye, but mostly you just hope that they can bond well. You hope that they can come together and just lead this team back to contention. Lead this team back to being relevant again, and all of those good things. Because this is a perfect opportunity right here that the Bulls have, and who knows, this may only get better. I mean, this has to be, in my opinion, this has to be. I'm pretty sure any GM out there that's looking at this Bulls job, or anybody that they're going to hire to be the president of operations, they're probably looking at this job, rubbing their hands together like, oh yeah, we gotta, you don't have that many returning players. You got a lot of cap space. You've got 2 guaranteed first round picks and a strong 2026 NBA draft. You got a clean slate. I think that's their perfect scenario. Either come in with a team that's obviously totally rebuilding. They've got everything gutted out. They got an open coaching slot. They've got an open basketball operations slot. They've got an open GM slot. Everything is wide open. Either that scenario, or you're going to inherit a championship team or a team that's on the cusp of winning an NBA championship. So I think that those are the 2 ideal situations right there, and that's what the Bulls find themselves in. So let's see what they do from here. This is a great opportunity. Now, if the Bulls, I tell you how this can get even better. This can get even better if come NBA draft lottery night, the Bulls get a top 2 pick, either the number 1 pick or the number 2 pick. If that happens, now the Bulls can really be on to something, because I'll tell you this, if we keep this number 9 and this number 15 pick, which it's not bad, but as I've been stressing in several of my videos on here, the Bulls still, like, well, let me say this first before I get my words all jumbled up. The Bulls still need that player that they're obviously going to build around. They still need that. They don't necessarily need a superstar right now. I mean, that would be great if they could get a superstar. I believe that AJ Devanta, if the Bulls get the number 1 pick, I believe that he is a superstar player. Now, as currently constructed with this Bulls team, we started the season off great, as we all know. But I'm rocking with the Bulls. But and just in all honesty, no player on our team is even a star player right now, based off of what we saw in this season right here. So Josh Giddey, in my opinion, he started off being a star player. We had a great start to the season. Buzelis, he said that he wanted to win the most improved player, but he didn't produce, to be the most improved player in the NBA. So he kind of had he didn't have a bad season. It was kind of iffy, he's a young guy. He's still developing. I get it, but as currently constructed, I don't see any player. They have the potential, don't get me wrong. But Zealous has the potential to be a star player. Josh Giddey has the potential to be a star player. Forgive me, you guys. My phone is all wobbly on the expressway here. Yeah, they both had that potential, but just right off the bat, when you think about it, that neither one of them are star players. So if the Bulls, let me get back to what I was saying before I get off track here. But if the Bulls, if they keep if they keep their current players now, which I think 6 players are going to be returning on contract next year, if I'm not mistaken, and then they get the number 9 and the 15th pick. in my opinion, they're still in the same predicament that they were last year because they don't have that. Who is our go-to player? So let's just pretend here real quick. So if the Bulls keep us in, well, you know they're gonna keep Zealous and Josh Giddey. Okay. So now let's pretend that they get the number 9 and number 15 pick, or whoever those players are going to be. Okay. Now, who is going to be the leader of the squad going into next season? Zealous, Josh Giddey? I don't know. Because when you look at both of those players, again, they have star potential written all over them. But with what they produced this season, which was just all over the place, it's just hard to straight up say, okay, man, we just gonna get a ball to Zealous. We gonna let him ball out. We gonna let Josh Giddey average a triple double or whatever. It's like you can't really have faith in that. Really, you know that the potential is there. You know that they're capable of doing it, but we just haven't seen the fruits of it yet. So the Bulls would be kind of back. It would kind of be back to the whole just being mediocre type thing. For the time being at least. And I know that rebuilds are a process. You have to look at it as a 3 to 5 year project, kind of, to kind of really see things for what they can be. But yeah, I think that the Bulls would basically just find themselves back in that type of situation again. Just being mediocre, not knowing who their go-to player is, not knowing who their number 1 player is, who is their number 2 player. It's just a team full of just contributors and people and somebody waiting to rise out of nowhere and be the star player, which is possible. I mean, you saw what happened with Jimmy Butler when Jimmy Butler was here with the Chicago Bulls. He was the 30th pick in that draft, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But with Jimmy Butler, I don't think anybody saw him becoming that star player. So I still think that may be the case for the Bulls going forward. And like I say, unless they get that number 1 or that number 2 pick in this upcoming draft, but if that's not the case, the Bulls are back in the same situation again. But the only difference is it's a lot more promising because, okay, you start off with a new GM. You start off with a new president of operations. You start off with a new head coach. So the promise is there. You can't really hold them to too high of a standard because this is just the first year that they're all going to be coming together under these new changes in management and with the coach and things like that. So, we get it. It's only so much that you can expect. But going forward, year 2, year 3, year 4, when you start expecting more, hopefully the Bulls don't find themselves in that same predicament again, where it's like, okay, who is leading this team? Who is the leader of this team? That would be really messed up if that happened. But hopefully Zealous, Giddey, whoever the Bulls draft, hopefully those players can step up and be the star players of this Chicago Bulls team. So that's today's episode, you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Let's Talk Bulls podcast. Let me know in the comments, you guys, who do you think the next head coach of the Chicago Bulls will be? I would be surprised if it's like a player first type coach. I would be surprised with that, but who knows? I think it's going to be a hard-nosed guy. I think it's going to be a defensive-minded coach at the very least. Like I say, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting Thibs back in here. I really wouldn't mind it. I think he would be a great coach for that situation. I don't think he's never, taken on a role like that, a full rebuild, but I think that he would be a great coach. I really do. And I know a lot of people disagree with that. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Who do you guys think the new GM will be? Who do you guys think the new president of operations will be as well? So, by the way, shout out to all of my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching these videos. I'm on my 2nd day in a row, you guys, making videos. So I'm working on that consistency. I'm going to keep the videos coming. Thank you guys for sticking with me. Peace out. Let me go put some gas in this car before I run out of gas on this expressway. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace out. Have a good one.